Do mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check.
And mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you. Thank you. No, that just made me sad.
I know it's going to be. Hey, good Wednesday morning, everyone. You are in for a special edition of Ask Morgan and Peter, and even more special because it's Peter's last one.
It is my last one. It's very bittersweet.
I know, you're in your last, it's like last to everything now for the next couple of days.
It's really weird. It's really sad.
Yeah.
It's
bittersweet.
been a long week. Yeah, long week. It's not fun to, say goodbye, but it's exciting about what's ahead.
Yes, yeah.
So,
yeah, so if you guys didn't know or you didn't see Peter's post,
Yes.
Peter's last day with us is going to be this Friday, so he's going to be working today. You'll have tomorrow off?
Yes, I'll have tomorrow off. Got to get everything packed.
Yes, and then he will work Friday evening one last time, and then he heads out to
Sacramento, California.
going to Sacramento. A little bit nicer weather.
A little bit nicer weather. I'm just really excited about the fact that I'll be a lot closer to family. and
Yes, you'll be
friends.
way closer to
An
home.
hour flight to my mom, my dad, and my sister.
Yeah.
And my brother, who's going to be in Vegas too. So
Yeah, you're going to be
to
closer to family.
Yeah.
Beautiful area too.
it's gorgeous. I'm really
Yeah.
excited. Lots of hiking and fishing, which are very big for me.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to miss you, but we still got a
Very
couple
sad.
more days here.
We do.
All right, so weather-wise, we've seen some changes to the forecast.
Changes. We
yeah.
both were like, woke up this morning. I was like, pardon? When
I know,
saw your
because we
message?
went golfing yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
We were talking about it, and it was like, yeah, it looks like the storms are just going to be south, not really anything to worry about. Then this morning,
Yeah.
saw the Storm Prediction Center kind of increase that threat
Mm-hmm.
here closer, and I'm seeing some verification. There is
our house
still,
model.
yeah, there's still some things we need to watch and
Yeah.
stay updated on, of course, through the next couple of days. We know the environment, I think, is expected to maybe have a bit of a cap tomorrow.
That's always something to watch
Yeah.
too.
So what that means is you really need the atmosphere to be able to develop strong enough potential to break that cap, to be able to see storms form. So that could put a limit on some of the storm formation, but regardless, it's something we're going to be watching here. So of course, you can send in your questions, comments. We're going to get to those here at the end once we kind of get through. We're just going to focus on the forecast here for today because especially since we now have this weather impact alert for tomorrow evening. But for now, we just have a beautiful start to the
Today,
day.
I walked outside. I was like, you kind of just want to bathe in it almost,
Yeah,
right?
it's really
warm,
nice. We got
really warm start.
sunshine.
Yeah.
We've seen temperatures continue to increase even since 5 a.m. this morning.
Yep.
It was 44 degrees at 5 a.m.
That's not a bad low whatsoever.
No, it's not. And now we're at 54.
What do you have for the high today?
I went 76.
Ooh.
I think, yeah.
Yes.
I think we got a good potential to get well into the 70s. Tomorrow, I was kind of, I went mid 70s again.
It's one of those days I feel like where
It could go either way
anywhere.
because I think it's going to be upper 60s, low 70s Dubuque, and then
Yep.
could be low 80s down
Exactly.
Burlington. So it's going to be a big change across the entire area for those temperatures. So let's take you outside right now and give you a look at those current conditions because we still also have those southerly winds outside. Getting a little breezy, not too
No,
bad.
It wasn't too bad on the way in because I got in about, 15, 20 minutes
Mm-hmm.
ago. Not too bad of a day out there. Driving, it wasn't an issue over the bridge. That's normally, when you really feel it.
Yeah.
Wasn't too bad out there today. So that's good news.
Yeah,
And
those-
honestly, these winds feel nice. We were talking about it yesterday when we were
Yes.
golfing. These south winds, they feel good.
Yeah, it's not like a chill wind.
No.
It's going to continue to help push those temperatures. So yeah, they're coming in from the south. We've noticed that the winds are starting to pick up just ever so slightly. Gusts could get as high as 20 to 25 miles per hour this afternoon, but that's pretty typical, a spring breeze, you could really say.
It
is what we're going to see. And as we even look at current satellite and radar, some clouds are starting to really develop over central Iowa. You can kind of see, I don't know if it's really the radar picking up rain or if it's just kind of getting maybe some of those heavier
Yeah.
cloud tops that it's starting to pick up. So we are going to see some clouds for today, but still I think we got some pockets of clearing mixed in, so we should see a good mix of sun and clouds as we head into the afternoon today.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of that's going to be reaching the ground near central Iowa right now.
Yeah, and even
The
our
air's
future
still
track.
dry
Yeah,
enough.
exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking. It could be what we call virga, which means it evaporates before it hits the ground. We're not expecting any precipitation. Again, just clouds, beautiful day, highs in mid-70s. And tonight even, if you're somebody who likes to sleep with your windows open, tonight's going to be a great time for that. We're going to see temperatures in the low 50s. Some partly cloudy conditions, and then heading into tomorrow again, a lot of warmth.
Oh, here's something interesting. Look at the winds. You can see that boundary that's going to drive the activity.
Yes, so we got that boundary that's going to start to push it. Now, again, the big question is, or when it comes to the storm development, and it makes sense right now. So most of the storms is going to be more concentrated south of I-80.
Yep.
This is a good picture as to why, because you have all those clouds to the north.
To the north.
That kind of ruins a little more of that storm energy potential, but you get more sunshine, again, more energy to the south. So we'll continue to keep a close eye out on it and watch it push in. I just remember I didn't add pause points to my other future track, so I'll just remember that. We'll walk through it.
Yes.
Before we kind of get into what we are expecting for tomorrow, I want to point out, because I've been seeing this all over Facebook. Obviously, Andrew posted this on Facebook.
Yes.
The Illinois tornado count. We have been talking about how Illinois has been one of the top states for tornadoes as of recently. Past couple of years, we've been well above our 15-year average, and we're already kind of on track to see a very similar situation. So we're at 42 tornadoes.
Holy cowza.
Yeah, total so far for the year in the state of Illinois. It is, I believe, number 2. I think Louisiana's number 1 or something like that.
I remember they had a QLCS that went through Louisiana, pretty much just a squall line.
Yeah.
Earlier this year, there were warnings throughout the whole state pretty much along the line. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's Louisiana.
Illinois has been overperforming, and even looking at Iowa, Iowa's been nowhere close to even those many tornadoes either. It's been Illinois kind of dominating the area for tornado counts so far for this year. So super interesting.
It kind of points to the fact, because I know I did that way too long of a story. Not that it was bad, but I didn't realize I did a 20-minute story on it for last year's severe package. But that shift further to the east, more so in a line from Illinois down towards, say, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama area of Tornado Alley. That's where the higher tendencies for them to develop have been over the last, say, 20 years. And it's kind of
verifying.
fitting. The data looks like it's fitting it, too.
It's continuing to verify, so it'll be interesting to watch, and we could add on a couple more for tomorrow, especially. Because, of course, our severe storm zone, a lot of that level 2 is in Illinois. But the past couple of days, we've only seen it get as far north as really Peoria.
Yep.
Just this morning, woke up, saw that the Storm Prediction Center increased that level 2 to go to Princeton, Kewanee, and Galesburg. Now, the rest of us, Sterling, Rock Falls region, Clinton, Geneseo, Metro Quad Cities, Muscatine, Mount Pleasant, Burlington are in a level 1 out of 5 threat. I will say that all modes, though, are going to be in place. Gusty winds, hail. Definitely saw some what we call SIGs now with the Storm Prediction Center. We're still working on being able to get that product to really portray it well into Max, which is the graphic system that we are using. But definitely could see some large hail development with these storms tomorrow. And then also, yes, a couple of tornadoes could be possible. And I do have that tornado threat also pulled up. And interesting enough, whenever you do see that low end, it's a low end threat here for most of us. But then you get to that level 2 where it goes up to that level 2 threat. So it'll be something to watch, but what we've been seeing is a very linear kind of threat coming in. When we're talking about linear, I'm talking about a line of storms.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's kind of straight line event potential.
So, and that's not to mean we can't get some quick tornadoes with that. But usually the good news is, especially if you're somebody who has that storm anxiety, who really hates to hear about the potential for tornadoes, whenever we have that kind of threat in place, it's quick. Those tornadoes and that tornado threat is on the low end, meaning it's going to be fast-moving tornadoes and very weak tornadoes. In fact, a lot of the tornadoes you don't even know form until we get to the next day that the National Weather Service can survey those sites. So we'll be watching it closely. I will say we do have the storm energy. I did have to play with this. I don't know why that the number isn't fully showing on the storm energy levels. I will say that this is the HER.
This is
I
her, okay.
changed it from our in-house model, which is the graph, to the HER, which it does, it's a way more convective model, so it might be a little overdone, but regardless, I still agree with this because that's where we expect the sun.
I was gonna say, that's where the clearing's gonna be and the timing of the boundary here too.
Yes.
Right, that's gonna be super important when you get that switch to those north winds, because that's gonna lower temperatures, which in a way reduces energy.
Yeah,
So further to the south is where you see that boundary later.
exactly. So the farther north you are, the more chilling you are doing basically for tomorrow. So we'll be watching it closely, but definitely do have some storm energy to play with. But again, the environment could be capped. And it's really going to have to be how much of the storm energy can we build to actually break that cap.
Exactly.
So we're going to be watching it very closely. Now let's get into looking at the actual timing of these storms because we are expected, I hope, yes, this is the right one. Okay, so by the time we get to, this is a look at 5:30, 6 o'clock. So not too bad. I'm not expecting too much activity at this point. It looks like your early Thursday commute is going to be pretty good. You just might have some of those showers starting to develop across the area. But it really does, our in-house model really does have this tapping into that storm energy fast, and then it develops. So from 6 to 7 o'clock, I think is going to be the area or the window opportunity that we see for this to really begin to blossom.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Timing works out.
And it's kind of those discrete cells. I will say that I've been talking about this morning that the best potential for any tornadic activity is going to be ahead of this line or even kind of those more discrete cells that even you see down towards Peoria.
I was gonna say, those kidney bean shapes indicate more of a meso kind of dynamic within these storms, which indicates the spin along the line itself. Those are pretty much straight line winds across the board in the upper levels of the atmosphere a lot of the time too.
Yeah.
So it's harder to get that good rotation or that spin that we talk about here, but in those little kidney bean looking ones near Peoria, that usually indicates that kind of mixing of the winds a little bit, or shear is what we call it.
So this will, I mean, it also does, I mean, we could see some really good rain amounts.
Which would be great.
Yes.
Rain's never a problem.
No, we need it. We definitely need it. We have been still, lacking a lot of moisture across the area. I know we've gotten our fair share of some good rain recently, and we've had, the snow recently. It's just not enough yet, so we still want to see these kind of events coming in our way. So a really good drink of water is going to be expected with these storms. So also with that, frequent lightning likely going to be. It could be a good show tomorrow night.
Because there's hail potential too, and remember, hail is extra convective compared to your typical rain event. So if we do get that hail and those kind of updrafts within these storms, you could get some very bright skies.
Oh yeah, so it'll be a pretty, I'm sure, very pretty night when it comes to lighting up those skies with the lightning. But the good news is, so like I said, if we're gonna back up and talking about storm development, so we're looking at 6 to 7 o'clock. This line races pretty quick. Leading edge is kind of where you expect most of those, the activity.
Severe threats.
Yeah, the severe threat to be with. That leading edge is well south of our area by the time we could get to the 10 p.m.
Yeah, it's gone.
So this is going to be pretty fast for tomorrow evening, a couple hours that we'll have to kind of be a little more weather aware. And then we quickly dry out and then we'll cool things down as we head into your Friday. So it is going to be a chillier Friday, but still bringing back brighter skies. If we do move on to this future track rainfall, you can see that we are expected to see a lot of us along and south of Highway 30 is where we could see rain amounts get anywhere up to 1/2 inch to 1 inch, or maybe even getting up to 1.5 inches, nearing 2 inches of rain.
If you do get under one of those thunderstorms, you can get that number up quick.
So it is going to be a good, rainstorm. And the good news is, even if we do see some heavy rainfall, we've got plenty of opportunity to dry out because just in time for the weekend, we'll bring out those clearer conditions.
Oh yeah.
Get temperatures to rebound fast. Yeah, you're going to notice it's a lot colder on Friday, but back to the mid-50s Saturday, back to the mid-60s Sunday, back to the mid-70s early next week, and then maybe a couple more showers and thunderstorms.
Say that next week looks extremely active.
Yes.
That's been a trend we've been talking about for, I feel like, 2-3 weeks here. We've said if you're looking for rain, looking for storms, end of the month, early April.
Yeah, so we've definitely been seeing this on our radar for quite some time, I'd say. For the past week, really, we've been seeing this activity kind of pick up. And even if we go to that 14-day tracker, you can just see a lot more of those rainy icons, stormy icons being picked up. Now, I will say when it comes to any, it's still way too far out to tell any severe storms associated with that. Yeah, it's going to be a possibility, but when you start to get into that pattern where it's one after the other, after the other, after the other, it's not going to be as severe usually.
Yeah.
It's usually the big changes that you see, especially with temperatures. So obviously we'll watch it very closely, regardless. But that's definitely what we have so far for this morning. Again, this is kind of the most recent, probably the biggest update that we've seen so
Yes.
far. We'll have much more updates coming throughout the day today. Again, we're still well over 24 hours ahead of this. So we'll have, again, Peter's going to be on the 11 giving you more updates. James, of course, will have some more updates this evening. Tomorrow morning, we'll be ahead of the storm and tracking it as well. So we got plenty of opportunity to be able to fine tune this. But
And on every even hour, we get a new run of the house model now. So we'll get one at 10, we'll get one at noon, and we'll be sure to keep you guys updated on that. And then throughout the shows tonight, James will have all those brand new updates that, again, come in every 2 hours. We'll also look at the HER a little bit as well. That'll start to kind of paint a clearer picture as well. So like those are the kind of the two big models we like.
yeah, I will say that our in-house model has been doing
It's been
so well. It's
Money
been
lately.
doing amazing, which is great for us because
Yes.
that's like the hardest thing about forecasting is you have all these models where like, yeah, you can tell they're starting to come together, but like when it comes to showing off, I know as a viewer, you want to almost kind of get what is the snapshot going to be.
Exactly.
And it's been doing really well. It's been doing really
Yeah.
well on timing. It's been doing just amazing.
Especially with any of the severe thunderstorm activity we've seen so far this season, it's pretty much verified the most every single time.
I know, which is good. That means we're
like
seeing some improvements. So we're going to start to get into some of your questions, comments. Of course, I know when we were early, I think you guys caught our mics a little bit. We were talking
Yes.
about how Peter, this is his last Ask Andrew, Peter
Yeah.
Morgan type deal. But thank you for chiming in and saying good morning and that you could hear us.
See,
Oh, we got jokes.
Yes.
Okay. You want to do them?
You want me to read them? Okay. Riley, hello, Riley. Good morning to you, one of our favorite fans here. How are onions and hailstones alike?
I actually did not read these, so I'm
you
not
didn't?
going to.
Okay.
Onions and oh, do they have layers?
Both are whitish, both have layers, and
Okay.
both really stink when they hit your car.
Oh, that is true.
That would be very true.
That is true. I do have hail damage on my car, so I do know.
Do you really?
I do.
Mine's hail damage from Texas. That's when we bought it.
Mine's hail damage from it was back in 2020. We were in COVID. We
Really?
had a pretty bad hailstorm here. Yeah.
No fun. Let's see. Why don't meteorologists like to eat ice cream?
I don't know.
Brain freeze warnings?
Oh.
That's good.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Then the question is, what is the heaviest hailstone ever recorded?
Okay.
I think North Dakota or South Dakota, I believe. The Dakotas can get crazy hail. Weight, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it was right around 10 inches.
I know that Illinois just broke their state record
Yes,
recently.
and that
in
was for
Kinkini.
about 7.2 inches or something like
So
that.
let's look
It
up
looked like a
biggest
CD.
hailstone ever in the U.S. South Dakota, 8 inches.
8 inches, wow.
Wait, no,
18.
18 in circumference,
Circumference,
8 inches
okay.
in diameter.
And that was 1.9375 pounds.
Let's see. It was discovered in Vivian, July 23rd of 2010,
Okay.
and it weighed 1.67 pounds.
Whole,
Wait.
I thought it was 1.93.
Oh, 1.9, it's just shy of 2 pounds.
Imagine that hitting you in the dome.
Yes,
That's
and
not
falling
safe.
from
Thousands
thousands.
of feet.
Yeah,
And it
That-
melts when it falls. So imagine how big that was in the cloud.
it would take a person out. It would.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see. She had, thank you so much, Riley. I'm very excited. Thank you. Told myself,
Okay.
don't get emotional.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of people chiming in. Of course, Chris saying, which Peter has been an excellent addition to the team. You have been very educational and glad we got to see you for your time. Good luck on your endeavors. Of course,
Thank you.
Michelle, Peter will be missed. Billy, we got Billy.
Hey, good morning, Billy.
I was watching Point Break and they mentioned a 100-year storm for Alaska. What exactly does that refer to? And can major Alaska storm systems ever influence our weather pattern here in the Midwest?
They can.
They absolutely can, because a lot of our weather goes from west to east, and a lot of the origin of our systems come from that Pacific Northwest region off the coast of Alaska. When you're talking about 100-year flood, 100-year storm, 100-year snows, it's not meaning it comes every 100 years.
No.
It's more like a statistic in a way.
It's like,
to categorize how significant it is.
yeah, it doesn't actually, I mean, like you can have two 25-year storms in a matter of 5 years per se. It's just like the
Severe. It's
occurrence
more
almost like.
Yeah, but again, it's not saying like, oh, this is like a once in a 100-year storm.
No.
It's basically saying like the severity of it is not that common.
Exactly.
So
like how often, like, and also I've seen like sometimes they do like, based on history, this is how often it's happened. Doesn't mean it happens exactly every 100 years, but like how often would a scenario like this happen? This is kind of probability-wise.
Yes,
almost.
it's statistics, which it does get a little confusing at
Statistics
times.
is so confusing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
liked taking statistics. Actually, I liked it because I just did sports stuff. But beyond that, I did not like
I hated statistics, but I will say that I had a meteorology professor for my statistics.
Oh, that's not fun.
I mean, she was difficult, but we were able to tie in a lot more meteorology.
Yes, I've done that before.
To kind
Which is fun.
Yes, to make it a little more interesting. A lot of people just saying they're gonna miss you, of course. Tyler, when it comes to all of these uplashes in temperatures, could we potentially see temperatures, or when could we see temperatures potentially become steady?
I think next week, somewhat.
Somewhat. So with the spring and the fall, we call these transition seasons because you're never gonna get, you know, in the winter, we know cold, cold, cold. And we know midsummer, hot all across the board. You won't really start to see that general, like, you know, every day is going to be 70 or greater, or every day is going to be 80 or greater until you get to the end of May and going into June. So through at least April into the beginning of May, we're still likely going to see a lot of these ups and downs, just because that's our typical season. It's the transition.
You get the battling air masses this time of year.
Yes, exactly.
Which is normal.
Michelle, Andrew was kind of saying something about a super El Nino. What does that mean? Extreme heat for the summer.
Let's say extreme heat, typically hotter than average.
Typically hotter than average. I will say the El Nino, La Nina, majority of the time it affects our winters.
Yes.
It's not too much driven in our summers. We're always going to get hot.
It's always
We're always going to get humid. You know, 100% of the time, it is going to be hot and humid here. That's a guarantee. I can guarantee you that. So it doesn't mean we're going to be seeing, like, you know, it's not a guarantee that we're going to be seeing, you know, some of the hottest temperatures we've ever seen during a summer. But, you know, it definitely can influence to maybe upticking more warmth elsewhere, which can maybe push in more warmth here. But again, it does influence our winters a little more, and El Nino typically means more mild for us during our winters.
Yes.
So we'll see if it's a strong El Nino, and we're expected to see that transition come early summer. If that holds into this winter, that's when I think we can talk a little bit more about how it could affect us more here.
Yeah, I was reading about it this morning, actually, when I woke up. It's like going to be neutral through the first half of the summer, then you'll start to see the shift. So in a neutral scenario, that honestly just means it could be more active here, really, through your April, May, June. And then once you see that transition, then that's when you can kind of dry up heading into fall, per se.
I will say El Nino, it usually actually keeps us quiet when it comes to severe weather. And La Nina actually typically can ramp up our severe weather. So when we see that transition, maybe that's why we're seeing an uptick recently.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's a very difficult oscillation pattern, but you know, you can't really, it's really hard to say because of that pattern is why we see it. It's more of it's called a teleconnection. That's what it is. It's a connection, not really a reason.
And it lasts, it's like we're forecasting months in advance. Like, the data is there across the models, but keep in mind, these are models forecasting 6 months in advance. So that can change a little bit here and there too.
It can. Where we got next?
Let's see, Chris and Kayla.
Oh, yes.
Can you explain what ball lightning is and bolt from the blue lightning is? Possibly a picture too.
Okay, ball lightning, I've heard of it.
I honestly don't know that much about it.
I don't know much about it because it is so incredibly rare.
It is.
It is very rare to get ball lightning. Even some meteorologists, I will say, maybe even go out of their way to say that it might be like a myth? In meteorology, just because it's so rare. Very hard, but I'm pretty sure you can get ball lightning. I've done a little bit of research on it, not enough. Again, it's just a very rare thing. Not many people see it.
I would assume in something like a hail core or something is where you get that, because that can kind of all
Yeah,
those
maybe
balls just convect between each
And
other.
who says that if it's not, what if it's an optical illusion more so than an actual like ball lightning? What if it's,
Exactly.
I think there's a lot of studying that really needs to be done with ball lightning, and since it's so rare, it's so hard to study.
Exactly.
The blue lightning, what I think you're asking is, lightning can change colors depending on
Yes.
where it strikes from.
And also atmospheric conditions.
And atmospheric conditions. I have seen lightning turn green after it struck a house. It struck
That's
the
cool.
electrical of the house, and that bounced back green, actually. So that lightning can change in those different scenarios. The blue, likely a lot of blue hues comes from very
Moist.
moist, hail-driven
Exactly.
environments. So that's probably that's at least what I'm thinking of.
Yep, and I know yellow-white is in a drier atmosphere. You get that more in the south. You get that Arizona, you get that Texas along those dry line setups where you have that dry air kind of combating along those dry lines. That's typically where you see your yellow and the whites compared to the blues. Here we have so much moisture typically with our storms. Those aren't as common, especially like the yellow here in the Quad Cities area.
All right, Kayla says, did the snow scare you away? Sad to
No.
see you go, but happy for your new journey.
It's not the snow, and it's nothing about the people here.
No.
And I think that
Arizona's a long way from here. You're a
Yes.
long way from home. See, I'm like,
Yes.
I literally specifically wanted a drive home.
Yes.
You can't do that.
No. Yeah, it's just a matter of just being closer to family.
Yeah.
And just a fun place to forecast. So.
Oh yeah,
cool.
it's gonna be great. Okay, we got another joke.
Yes.
From Chris and Kayla, how rare is it, here Joe, I'll ask you. How rare
go.
is it for a cow to get struck by lightning?
For a cow to get struck by lightning?
Yeah.
Is it like one in a moose and?
Oh, I like
wasn't even
that.
the answer,
Is
but
that
that's
it?
good.
No, medium rare. That was good. Okay, well, yeah, I think we got through everything. Obviously, everyone's wishing well to Peter. Of course, you can stick with us for the 11, for
Yes.
Peter's last 11, not last show, last 11. And then on
Yes.
Friday, you can tune in for the 4, 5, 6, and the 10. That will be his final farewell show. So be sure to give him all the love and support because we'll miss him. We're sad to see him go, but we're happy for you at the
We
same
got
time.
Craig at 11.
We do have
Yes,
Craig.
we have Craig.
Yeah.
We're excited.
Last
Yeah.
one for us.
But yeah, thank you for joining us. Thanks for asking all the questions. Of course, we're going to keep you updated on that threat as we head
Yes.
through today and tomorrow as well. But in the meantime, everyone have a fantastic Wednesday.